Drewbies. Before we start this episode, we just wanted to say happy holidays to all of you. We appreciate you so much. We are not doing a traditional Christmas episode this year, but we do have Drew's Christmas movies that we've covered in the past that you could go listen to.
Uh-huh. We've covered all of the other reindeer on episode 17, and we covered Babes in Toyland for episode 65. So we've explored the movies that are kind of outright Christmas movies. So we hope you enjoy.
Babes in Toyland, Christmas movie-ish. Santa sort of at the end.
So yeah, revisit those and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year. Hello and welcome to How Do You Drew?
This is a Drew Barrymore podcast brought to you by the fans, friends, and historians behind the Drewseum.
We're drawing on over 25 years of Drewbie expertise to dive into all aspects of Drew's world, from her personal life to her professional career.
Thanks to our sponsors and friends at Positive Medium. I'm Anne.
And I'm Ashley. And this week we are discussing two magazine features from the year 1993, 17 from May, and Vogue from June.
Yes. We love doing these magazine breakdowns.
I think they're some of my favorites to do. Like maybe not. I think the movies end up being like the best episodes, but there's so much more work.
Yeah, and I think that the tidbits that we get out of the magazines are cool.
Yes.
Or like how we can make connections, and you always do your like mini deep dives. So we've got lots of little tiny deep dives in every single one of these magazine episodes, including this one. Yeah. All right. So let's get into the top of the show before we start our topic for the week. We are starting with a little tidbit, I guess, here, but it's sort of another thing that sort of like puts a puzzle piece in, right?
It does. And you discovered this one.
It's a video of Adam Sandler. I can't even remember where it was. It was on Instagram or who he was talking to. But he just kind of mentions, I think they're asking him about like his favorite like 90s group or something, or favorite album.
Yeah.
Right. And he says, is it Holes Live Through This?
Uh-huh.
And so he says he remembers going to a show of theirs in Missouri, and you found the date. It's October 26, 1994. And he remembers seeing Drew come out on stage during the show at some point. And like, we know that this would have happened like a couple, like we know that she would be on tour with Hole a lot in 94.
Yeah, the timeline fits perfectly. Like we didn't know she was at this particular show. We don't have any photos of it. And I like cross-referenced Adam was doing like a comedy show in Missouri that same day. So I was like, yes, that's satisfying.
Yes.
Like, but yeah, it's kind of fun because that was a few years before she even started like sort of knocking on his door like, hey, I think we need to work together. So I kind of love that the universe in such a weird place sort of brought them together. Like who even knows if they talked? It didn't really sound like it.
No, it sounded like he was in the crowd. He spotted her. Like he mentions like she was dating the guitarist at the time and she just popped out. But I love that. And I love like, I don't know, that little, like he could have seen Drew Barrymore at that point in his life and then never encountered her again.
Yeah.
But it ended up being this huge relationship. Like, anyway.
So fun.
I
Great
love
little
it.
tidbit. I was very excited by it. So thanks for finding and sharing.
Yeah. All right. We have a very short little list here for this week's Drew Loves, but let's get into what she's proclaimed her love for recently.
I love love.
Okay. Yeah. Very short. And I'm like, I have to accredit that to the fact that she's barely on the Drew Barrymore show these days, as we've mentioned. And I'm not kidding.
I mean, they should change it to the Rossi Ross show or Sunday Anderson show or Valerie Bertinelli show.
It's crazy. There was an episode recently. She did a 30-second intro. Then some of the other people did the whole rest of the show. And then the end was like an old clip from like a couple years ago. And that was it. Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. We still haven't gotten any answers on that, guys, but we're working on
noticing with no answer.
Yeah. All right, but back to the fun part. Drew loves. She loves a workplace dilemma. Oh, maybe that has something to do with what's going on. No, just kidding. She loves to be convinced.
Okay.
And she loves a candle.
Cute.
She's a fire starter.
Twisted fire starter, in fact. Did you know? All right, so should we get into what's new with Drew now?
Here we go with the news, everybody.
Yeah, we don't have much to say, but this is sweet and great. She is once again an ambassador for St. Jude's holiday fundraising. She's been involved with them for years. Like, I feel like there were like hospital visits and stuff like that she'd done. But this time around, we have a new photo in her shirt that says, "This shirt saves lives." I think they like fundraise with that. And then there's also a new little commercial. She's got like very 2007 hair going on, like straight and parted down the middle, right?
Yeah, it totally has like Everybody's Fine hair, right?
Oh, I was thinking more, yes, but I was actually thinking more like music and lyrics promo time.
Yeah.
For a little bit she did that, yeah. So it's like throwing me off because it doesn't look like it's from now.
It is kind of weird. The commercial is really sweet. Of course, there are like multiple clips of other celebrities, but I like seeing something new. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, of course. And then like, just to go along with all that, she also co-hosted a Gratitude celebration event at actress Marlo Thomas's house. And Marlo is the national outreach director for St. Jude. So they had like some patients there, and there's not a lot of info of what went on, but really nice that she's taking the time to do that.
Yeah, very much so. Very cool. St. Jude's doing good work out there.
Yeah, I've donated to them. I'm sure I will again this year because it's just like I like to do that in December.
Yeah,
silly, like you could do it at any point, but they're like doing the outreach, so it's like, oh
of course.
Let me do that.
Of course, it's that time of year.
Yeah.
Okay, so totally changing gears. Should we get into some 1993 magazines?
Well, 93, guys, was just so delicious that we didn't get enough of it last episode in our year-end review.
I love delicious because that's so true. And also, I feel like we maybe like underestimated just how delicious. I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, and like going through these makes me realize like, no, I don't think I underestimated it. I just always go like 94, 95 in my head.
Yeah. That's true. I would agree with that for sure. But 93 is beautiful. And we talked about both of these magazines briefly because their photos are pretty classic ones for Drew. Yeah. But the articles are both very short, but really jam-packed with some fun info. So we're like, you know what? We'll just do both of them because they're quickies and just kind of use this as a companion piece to our last episode.
Yes. And, while you're listening to us talk about this, just pretend you're like holding the magazine in your hand. You know what a magazine feels like?
I actually have. Hold on.
Oh, you're next. You have them next to you?
Well, I meant to scan them today and I didn't get a chance, but I have the papers.
Nice.
People, can you hear the magazines?
Yes, because
I love paper.
Yeah.
Yes.
We love it. Rubbing it all over ourselves. But I just have to point out like the physicality of this and that we're collectors and like that, of course, we have these iconic pieces in our collection.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just fun because I just go back to like, oh my God, when I got this. Not that I remember the exact moment, but like being in the collection is like such a huge part of our journey here.
Our Drewby experience. I actually do remember getting the Vogue one. Like I remember exactly where I was. So yeah, it was special.
That's so cool. Okay, so let's start with 17 magazine from May 1993. Should I jump in?
Let's do it.
Okay, so the photography for this issue was done by Matthew Rolston. This was their third photo shoot together. It followed Interview magazine from 1991 and Entertainment Weekly in 1992, and there were many more to follow. Have we covered any of the things that they've done before other than like briefly kind of, do you remember?
Ooh, like doing a whole episode about one?
Yeah.
I don't know. And there's so many that they did together, but I don't think we have. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's interesting because that name is so...
Oh, we say it a lot.
Right. I don't know. So I'm sure we've probably covered some. I guess that's what I wanted to say is like, I'm sure we've mentioned this name a bunch.
Yes.
She also attended a couple events with him this year. So it seems they had kind of like maybe a friendship had formed here.
Yeah.
And not surprising. Drew loves working with the same people and over again. And
totally.
And there were a couple of photo shoots for this magazine. So this happens sometimes. A cover shoot is done separately in a studio, and then so this is a situation like that.
I have to say, it always kind of bothers me. I'm such a weirdo. Like, I'm like, just make it all be one thing together.
I think it's because we like to organize like visual of the thing together. So it's like if the shoot, especially when the shoot is done by a different photographer, like that's even weirder. It happens though.
I know.
I mean, I guess sometimes though it's like I'm way more annoyed if if they use a photo shoot from like an existing thing than I am if they're doing two new ones. But either way, it is a confusing thing for us as like organizers. Okay, so I'll just get a little bit into the cover shoot and then we'll get into the other one because there's more. For the cover shoot, the hair was done by, I don't know if it's pronounced Samal or Kamal, not sure. And then the makeup was done by Joanne Gare, who also did the makeup for the Guess campaign the same year, along with some other shoots. And you reached out to Joanne.
Yeah, I did. She's super sweet on Instagram. So I just asked if she had any memories from this. But she said, during this time period, I worked with Drew many times. I loved her joyful energy, kind nature, and professionalism.
Yeah.
Kind comments corner. She also said, for the 17 cover, she was a delight to work with and a perfect canvas with her youthful, beautiful, pale skin. I believe we shot this with photographer Matthew Rolston. Yep. Around the same time, we did the Guest campaign in 1993 with the photographer Wayne Mazer. I did several looks on her for this series, which I understand the photos are now considered iconic. Additionally, I did several more editorials with Drew in the 90s all the way to around 2002. Hope this is helpful. Thank you, Joanne. And if you guys want to follow her, her Instagram is at Joanne Gare.
And is she still currently doing makeup?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay. Cool. That's cool.
Super cool.
So yeah, we love having the little interactions that we can like share just a little like about people. But I love it's like we hear this like joyful energy, kind nature, and professionalism. Like her professionalism in these situations has been discussed and rediscussed. And
I know. I can't wait for the day we reach out to someone and they're like, she was a horrible bitch.
I don't want to talk about it. She was so bad. So terrible.
So far, it hasn't happened.
Exactly. All right. So let's get into the on location shoot, which this is what we remember more.
Yeah, I think so.
And we'll get into that a little bit more. So for on location, the hair was done by Howard Barr and makeup by Beth Katz. And the photos, of which there are many, were taken at two different locations in San Francisco, which I'm literally across the bay from right now. So it's kind of cool.
I didn't even think about that.
And it was the City Lights bookstore and Cafe Triste, which you looked up and they look pretty much the same as they did in 1993, which I love.
Yes, it's crazy. I love, first of all, that they're even both still in operation. Super cool. And I found like pictures of them now where she took her photos and nothing. I mean, they even still have the little postcards on the wall in the same spot, like at the bookstore. It's just wild. So maybe you can take a little trip across the Golden Gate Bridge and do a little location scouting for us. And then I just found that the musicians that are playing behind Drew, they're like a jazz musicians. It's a group called the Bron Fellinis. And according to their Instagram, they were also still going strong as of 2023. So
cool.
San Francisco is just like timeless, I guess. Things just never go away.
They're just like nothing changes. And they're literally still playing in Cafe Triste. Like they haven't left. That's what they mean when they say like still going. No, just kidding. So I know we talked a bit about the photographs in the 1993 episode, but what can we even say about like, I don't know.
These are really cool. So it's supposed to be, this is kind of the theme. It's called Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay.
And it says berets and burros, cappuccinos and Kerouac. Back in the 50s, the beatnik scene was more brains than brawn and sleek was chic. So it's just kind of like, I think it's supposed to be like
an homage,
poetry and cafe and, you know, beatniks and all that stuff, which is, it totally comes across.
It totally comes across. She looks like she's from another time. Every single, I mean, all the pictures that were printed, she's wearing a different outfit.
Yeah, gorgeous. Like, I mean, the Marilyn Monroe hair, like you can't, that is there.
Undeniable.
Like undeniable, yeah.
Yeah. And all the pictures on the inside are sepia tone, which I think is such a cool thing. Of course, I would love to see them in color.
Oh, God. I never even thought about that as a possibility. That's crazy.
I wonder if they were shot in black and white, though.
Yeah, probably back in that day, right?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they were shot on film, 1993.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And we do have outtakes from this, like quite a few, actually.
Thank God.
Some really sweet ones. Like, I feel like she looks pretty serious in all of the ones that were printed. And then there are some, like, with kind of like, you get more of a Drew silliness coming through. Like,
yeah, that's so true. What a great observation. You're right, because she is laughing or being playful or silly in a lot of the outtakes, but none of the ones that they printed, which we talked about in our last episode. We felt like they were going for a more like mature version of her than what was normally in the press at this time was the bad girl in the black bra, right?
Right. I mean, I even feel like I think we talked about this a little bit, but this doesn't feel like a 17 magazine shoot because it feels so kind of mature. Like I feel like I don't even know, like almost like plucked out of Vogue, which we'll get into. But it's more like it almost looks like a high fashion shoot.
Maybe that's also why these two kind of go together so well for an episode, because they kind of like live in the same space for some way.
And the fact that there are like, well, I don't know if we mentioned, but so many of them were printed as a full page in the magazine, which once again, if you guys can appreciate that, it's probably because you are not paper collectors. But like, yeah, I'll say it again.
I love paper.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially full pages.
Yes. And then just the last little note that we have about this photo shoot, I guess, is that there's one photo where she's sitting on the countertop in the cafe, and that was used as like the fan reply postcard for some time. And I feel like we got a copy from Rob Brink.
Yeah, I think it did come from him. I know we have another one from like an older shoot. So she would like change them every once in a while. And then does that exist anymore?
Good question.
There used to be a thing, guys, where you sent fan mail and you would get this like pre-printed signed card back. Oh my God. The first one I got in the mail, I just remember that being so thrilling, which is so funny to think about.
Oh, I know what mine was. Mine was like a JTT thing. And then I remember also writing to, oh my God, now I'm going to forget the name of the actress who played the girl he like kissed in Tom and Huck.
Rachel Lee Cook.
I wrote to her and said like she was
Were you like, bitch, why'd you kiss my man?
I think I said you're so lucky to have worked with him. And then I got like a fan reply picture of her too. Anyway, this was such a thing, guys. And like if you look in older magazines, you'll see like a whole list of like write to your favorite celebrities.
Yeah. It's cool. It was like definitely a good little operation they had going, the studio fan mail, because like come on, she's not going to be able to see all of these letters, but at least you would get something back.
It was just like a generic thing, but it was really sweet. And we've got a handful on the Druseum's website. So it's a fun physical media thing, of course.
It is. All right. Should we get into this little article? And I mean little, it's a page, but it's got some really great little chunks of info that, we all love.
Yeah.
So this article was written by Kevin Koffler. And the interview was done on a rainy day inside Drew's cozy West Hollywood apartment. And this kind of like, we've been working sort of on this, figuring out where she lived in the 90s, like the early 90s. It's very confusing. I think we are to understand she lived in this apartment and then she moved to a house when she got the money from Guess. It's kind of what she said. So we're before that. And this is a very long little excerpt here at the beginning, but it just sets the scene so beautifully. I felt like we had to include it, right?
We love these.
So it starts, filled with the smoky haze of burning jasmine incense, the flickering flames and dancing shadows of votive candles, and the soft, groovy sounds of diggable planets. The room reflects the renewed sense of spirituality Drew says she has experienced since her broken engagement to actor Jamie Walters.
And it continues, set against the far wall, somewhat lost among the piles of books on dream interpretation, stacks of unread scripts, and a cornucopia of art and craft supplies, Drew's enormous king-size antique bed functions as the room's command central. Spun from layers of feather and foam, the bed creates a cushion, which Drew says protects her from the rest of the world. And she's right. Sinking into it is like floating on a big white fluffy cloud. I love it.
So
but
cute.
Also, I couldn't help but think of, is it Bizarre 96 where she like brings JVM into the bed? And I was just thinking like,
our buddy JVM, like, you're totally right.
Like I pictured it like, oh, did she invite him in? That's where they did the interview? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's really
so
sweet.
Cool. Yeah. I had to note like put a little pin in the dream interpretation book because that comes up in the next article that we're going to cover too. I just think that's
so
a fun
funny
little crossover.
I totally had a dream interpretation book at one point. Did you?
Same. Oh, of course. You could not be a teenager in the 90s without one.
Not have, yeah. You put it next to your amethyst stones. Like,
Wake up in the morning. Don't forget your dream. Don't forget your dream. Hurry, look it up. What's it mean?
Fantasy. Okay, so Drew tells a story of Jamie breaking up with her via the phone 3 days before she was to return to LA from Vancouver after filming the Amy Fisher story. We've mentioned this a couple times.
It's like the third episode in a row.
Right, and I'm just like, just reading it. Like, so we know that. We also know this, but he moved out of the house by the time she was back. So like basically separation, really no closure.
Yeah.
She said that the time they spent apart really took a toll in their relationship. Like she was working in different places, so they had a place together, but weren't really like able to be together. And Drew described the breakup. She said, I've never felt pain like this in my entire life. And we've described this, like we think it's her first like major breakup as sort of an adult, even though she's still so young.
Yeah.
She talked about that they tried to like date a little bit longer while they were living apart and it just didn't work. She says, I think multiple times that Jamie was like her best friend that she's ever had. And she feels like really pained that they're losing that. And she hopes they'd be friends again one day, which didn't happen. But we know they've encountered each other.
Yeah, I was like, I have to insert this photo of her running into him in 1999 at a charity event where she looks like just totally floored by seeing.
Yeah, like literally hands on her forehead, like, what? Which is like, so what? Fun. It's 6 years
almost. Yeah, that's crazy.
Which feels like nothing on one hand and a lot on the other. Like so weird. Yeah.
Okay, so Drew explains that she's working on her spiritual growth and changing her fashion style. And this is kind of a fun quote from her. She says, I completely dressed in the grunge look when I was with Jamie. When we broke up, I burned all my flannels and started to dress like a girl again. I took out my old Agnes B suits, bought some new dresses, and started wearing bell bottoms with vintage jackets. I think my look is 40s meets 70s, and since I rarely go out at night anymore, I dress up wherever I go.
Love it.
A couple things. I want to say, like, the 40s meets 70s thing, we actually bring that up when she does Boys on the Side. Like, I think she referenced that, and we were like, yes, that totally makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was fun.
I was trying to remember where we've mentioned it, because I was like, we've totally mentioned it, and we've both been like, yes!
That's it!
Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't really find a lot of evidence that I felt was like, ooh, she was so grunge when they were together.
Right.
But, you know, maybe in her mind. I also remember that quote, that thing about burning the flannels was one of the trivia questions in that newsletter that you and I met on.
How funny.
Like the only thing I remember.
I also just like can't picture her doing that.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of can, but I'm also like, really? Did you burn them?
Maybe it's metaphorically.
Yeah. Yeah. She talks about kind of going out, because we talked about in the previous episode that she was more like homebody at this time.
Yeah.
And maybe like how comfy her bed is an indicative to a thing.
Oh, yeah. I love that point. And this was like the first time in her life, pretty much, that she'd been kind of a homebody. Like, from the time she got famous, it was like, let's go out, let's go out, let's go out.
Hustle, and also party. Yeah. So she says at this point in her life, she said the only club she likes to go to these days is Sound Factory in New York. She says, it's fun because everyone is in their own world and nobody bothers me there. It's a place I can do my own thing and release about a year's worth of tension in 6 hours of dancing.
So fun. So I looked that place up. I think it closed like 2 years after this, which is kind of like, oh, sorry, Drew, R.I.P.
Jeez. She says at home, her nightlife usually consists of reading, writing, sewing, doing spin art, and painting with acrylics, which is so cute. I love it. Cute. I'm also like, sewing? Did she really sew? How much sewing is she doing? And then there's another quote here. She said, after Jamie left, I lost every ounce of inspiration I had. I'd sit in bed with a pen in my hand and stare at a blank piece of paper before saying, forget it. Recently, it started to come back, so I've been on a creativity binge. I spend 2 hours doing things like making clothes. So I want to ask, I guess, how soon after their breakup was like this
done?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would have come out in April, and we believe they broke up in December. So, really,
pretty
really
fresh.
Soon. Yeah, very fresh. I don't know, that image of her just like staring at a blank journal page, like, oh, made me so sad.
Yeah. But yeah, it's still pretty fresh.
Yeah.
Totally.
So she talks about how after the successes of Poison Ivy, Gun Crazy, and the Amy Fisher story, she feels like she is done playing nymphettes. And she says, quote, "For now, I don't want to do anything sexual on screen. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to be selective, and I'm going to choose wisely." So
mature.
It's kind of like, I don't need to be doing a doppelganger shit anymore.
Yep. Yep.
No more bloody shower scenes for me.
Why not? What's wrong with that? So the article ends with Drew talking about trying to decide what to do about her James tattoo. So Drew had Jamie Walter's name as James on her back. She says, "I haven't gotten it removed yet. Maybe finding out he's got his covered up will give me the incentive to do it. Not because I'm following him, but because that would be a true indication that it's time to move on. My mom is a total cynic about love, but I never was before Jamie. Now I understand her a little bit better."
And that's how the article ends.
And I always forget that he has Drew's name.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen it. So very random coincidence. I was not looking for this, but in the last few weeks, I found an article that he mentions this. So he talks about in the November 94 issue of YM, I guess he discusses like that his friends told him like, don't get her name tattooed across your back. You're going to regret it. You're going to break up. Well, they were right. But he says, I had it touched up. It's not exactly gone, but the specifics have changed. I would love to see a before and after.
Oh my God. I wonder if there's anything out there.
Well, we've talked about hers before and after, where she said that the ink just bled, like his name just became illegible. And we're not sure if that's true, because like it was shown on the Drew Barrymore show a couple of years ago, and it did not look like it bled. It looked like
blacked out.
It was either blacked out or they like photoshopped his name out for the show.
Right. And I feel like we really couldn't tell if it had been blacked out like with Photoshop or blacked out with tattooing.
Right.
But anyway, them having gotten their names on each other is just like shows how kind of like intense that was.
Right. And they weren't even together that long. It was like less than a year, you know? It's just, well, but she's 17. Like, of course, that's what you're going to do when you think you're going to marry this guy.
Right. And she's always just like, well, it's the whole father figure thing. Not that he's a father, but just like it, you know, messes kids up. It messes people up in relationships. She's looking
to quote Home Fries, that's the kind of thing that messes kids up.
Perfect. Perfect, Ashley. You always got to bring out the Drew quotes.
They're in my brain all the time. It's all I think about now.
You can even link it. The thing is, the characters say to Drew's life. That's how embedded it is.
Yeah, true.
All right, so we will get into our next magazine after these messages.
Hey Droobies. We are here to tell you about our website hosts, Positive Medium, and they sponsor the podcast. We've been clients of theirs for over 10 years, and we use them for all our website needs on thedrewsium.com.
Their services include customized web design, professional coding, search engine optimization and marketing, plus hosting, which has been huge for us for many years.
Plus, their incredible customer service has been one of our favorite features. They've literally saved our site quite a few times, and they always help with minor troubleshooting in a matter of minutes. So whether that's coding issues or back-end questions, etc., we reach out, we get help immediately, which is just invaluable.
Lucky you. To our listeners, Positive Medium is offering 25% off any managed WordPress hosting plan using our promo code DREW. That's DREW. Visit our friends over at positivemedium.com. Thank you.
All right, so let's get back into our coverage of these fun 1993 magazines. And now we're going to take a look at Vogue from June 1993. This one is not a cover feature, but there's so much Drew content in it. There even is 3 or 4 guest ads. Do you remember that they're in this issue? So, and these were like, this was when they first started coming out. So man, what a magazine to get back then as a fan. Like I said, I remember like getting in the mail. I remember being in my room at my dad's house and like, it's finally here. I'm being so precious about it. But Naomi Campbell is on the cover. And last I looked, I was just kind of like browsing eBay.
Yeah.
They were expensive, like $50-$70 for this issue. Yeah. So good luck, guys, if you don't have it already.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
Kind of wild.
So as we've mentioned many, many times, this photo shoot was done by Ellen von Unwerth, and this was their first collaboration together. And they would go on to do like 10 plus. So they worked together a ton. They always made beautiful images together. They just have like a special chemistry when it comes to taking pictures.
It feels like beautiful is an understatement somehow. Yeah. Like we are obsessed with many of them. We've done an episode. Go look it up. We've done an episode all about their stuff together.
Yes. The hair for this one was done by Peter Savick, and the makeup was done by Tracy Martin. And these photos were taken in New York in March 1993, and they were done at Coney Island and then also at the Royalton Hotel in NYC. So it's kind of fun because like the last one, there's like two different locations going on. And once I knew that, I could really start seeing that in the photos. Like, oh, these are from the Coney Island batch and these are from the hotel, which is so fun.
Right. Because I hadn't even actually, when I look at them, I was thinking more, I think when we mentioned in the last episode, I was totally just picturing Coney Island, like all the stuff outside. And then I'm like, oh yeah. But I feel like the ones that are in my mind prominent from the hotel are outtakes.
Interesting. Okay. Because I feel like the more glammed up ones where she's in like silky robes and pajamas and also nothing at all except for some really fun shoes. Those I think are the hotel batch. And then all the like fun, playful outside ones are obviously Coney Island.
I think the Coney Island ones come to mind first.
Okay.
And then it's like, oh yeah, the one with the like her naked in the sofa seat is like in that too. Like I'm like, oh duh. Like I don't know, it's sort of a it is fun. Anyway, it is fun to identify that. Just like it is like with the guess things. Like,
totally.
Oh, there's a 3 different places.
Separate. Yeah.
Anyways, so these are also stunning. I mean, what did we say about the last ones? How do we even talk about this?
I know we've talked about them so many times. You guys, we will have, we always say this, but we always have an episode page on howdoyoudrew.com where you can see all of the photos that we're talking about today. Yes. So go check that out.
Yes.
Most of these are full page as well. Yes. Hell yeah. And then the very first one, I was reading the credits. It's cute. It's her like running on the beach with the seagulls. And those were her own combat boots, which she did wear a lot at this time. So I thought that was really neat.
I love it. And I also love that, like, I was looking closer at some of the pictures and that one with the seagulls, I was like, oh, it looks like she's like cold and wearing the jacket that she was just like wearing on set. And that was just one of the pictures. Like, I love it. There's some really just stunning pictures in this. Actually, weirdly similar to the last ones, a lot of them are not in color.
Yeah. And again, like sometimes I wonder, is it like if you look at People magazine from the 80s, 90s, they were always black and white for the most part. And then like it finally switched over. Like, that's how old timey we are, I guess, that we like were growing up in the time that magazines are like, keep it black and white. It's cheaper.
Yeah, so it's funny with these. Like, I feel like it's very intentional. Mm-hmm. Like, anyway, I don't know. I think one of the ones that's color, where it looks like she's sitting on like a merry-go-round, is so vibrant that it's almost like shocking compared to the other ones.
Because it's like got that bold red, and she's got bright red lips.
Yeah, it is so bright and so saturated.
Yeah.
I mean, she has bright red lips in, I guess, both of the shoots, the one from Coney Island and the hotel in New York, because there also is one color one from the hotel as well, and it's so like dreamy, and I feel like that picture, she looks like an old movie star.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the hotel ones are definitely giving old, classic Hollywood vibes, which she pulls off so well, especially back in this day.
Right. And she has like kind of the Marilyn hair again, like she had in the 17 shoot. I will say, I feel like some of my favorite ones from the shoot, I sort of end up like forgetting they're from this. So like the one where we have this outtake, and I think I have it printed from some magazine, that's like her back. She's like sitting on the bed, and you can see this beautiful shot of her tattoos. Like, I forget that falls within this photo shoot.
Yeah,
like,
it feels like a totally different vibe for sure. I would agree with that.
And the one with her behind the fence, like kissing.
Love.
we love these. And I think I wish I could remember, like I said, like the exact moment I got them, but I remember it was one of those like coveted Coveted. I will say this is going back to the guest ads thing, but I feel like I remember that like the guest ads are printed like on like the front and back of each other, and maybe some of these are too, and that bothered me because I don't know,
because you want to display both of them somehow.
And you can, I mean, you can, but I don't know. I just remember that about it. Love paper, but sometimes you got to deal with what's on the back of the page.
You probably wanted to put them on your wall. Let's be honest. And it was like, shit, which one do I pick?
Right. Probably. I think by this time I probably wouldn't have put like the articles on my wall or like the feature. Anyway, yeah, I don't think we can do justice for the visuals of like either of these. So please make sure you go to our website and check out the episode page and enjoy them because they're gorgeous.
They're delicious.
Delicious. Exactly. Okay, so let's jump into this article. So this was written by David Handelman. And I like how you said the beginning is kind of confusing because it is a weird way to like start an article.
I probably read it like 4 times before I really understood what was
happening. Right.
Okay, so the article has a very weird and confusing opening. I literally read it like 4 times to try to understand what was going on because it just drops us right in and says that Drew's being schmoozed at the Russian Tea Room in New York City by Broadway producer Fred Zollo. And he's apparently telling her a story about how he and the like writer-director David Mamet and another director, Gregory Mosher, were considering Drew for the lead in what I understood to be the film adaptation of their play Oleana. So just there you go. That's what I think was going on.
Okay.
And they were all apparently like discussing her age, like, oh, isn't she that little girl from E.T.? And one of them said, no, she's a big girl now. And I just thought that was like, bleh, gross, right? Like, just what a way to say that.
Yeah.
And then like, as all this is being told to her, the author says that Drew, quote, weathers all of this with a trooper's smile. She's had a lot of practice. And it just like that hit for me too, as like, oh, he was also thinking it was creepy, but Drew's like totally dealt with this forever, so she knows what to do.
And probably once again, it's like her professionalism is coming out. Like she knows how to imagine having to know how to deal with like that. I don't know. She's got so much grace. It's kind of amazing.
Anyway, I just like the rest of the article is so great. I'm like, why did we start with this weird tone here? I don't know. It's a choice.
Yeah, totally. The author kind of says that everyone always asks how old Drew is because people associate her with Gertie. So at this time, it's like it's closer to like her child stardom, than we can kind of like think about. It's sort of wild. Like we're just 11 years from ET. So like, I know that feels like a lot, but it's like really relatively not. So people think that she's older than she is because of what she's gone through in her life. We talk about this all the time. So the author kind of just like lists a couple of things: stardom, drugs, rehab, the People cover story, which is about the rehab, best-selling autobiography. She's gone through being an easy punchline, gay icon, and comeback star. Like this. So she's gone through all that. And she's just turning 18. Like, yeah. It's
a fun list, honestly. Like, I hate to say the easy punchline is true, sadly. Like, because at that time, especially, like, 13-year-old on drugs. Haha, let's make fun of her, right? There's no sympathy back then. And I found the gay icon part kind of interesting because I agree. But at this time, that feels like interesting that was noted, you know?
Yeah, totally. I mean, do we think it's because of like Poison Ivy, her having kissed Sarah Gilbert and Poison Ivy? Is that what it was?
Maybe I didn't think about
that. Was
it
the nudity with other women in Interview? Like, what was it?
Yeah, you're right. I was thinking more like gay guys love her, but you're right. It could be that.
It's both, right? So just like one more thing about her age. So she had just turned 18 earlier in the year. And she just says like it meant she could buy cigarettes.
Which, like, imagine she's been smoking for 8 years at this point.
I know.
Like, and she's just getting them, like, without legally being allowed to buy them. Crazy.
Right. And before that, I'm sure it was just like nobody would question.
Yeah.
Anyway.
She just turned on that charm.
Exactly. But she kind of explains, like, technically, she's been a legal adult since her emancipation at age 15. So it's, like, weird. Anyway, once again, like, how old is this person?
I also... like, I've tried to understand it, like, look up what it means when you're emancipated.
Yeah.
Like there's some things you can do, but like you still can't do other things like buy cigarettes, right?
Right. She says that she celebrated her birthday by playing mini golf with friends. So we kind of went into this again with the last episode, but like low key, keeping it personal,
simple,
private, simple.
Friends. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So we get the usual, as we always do, backstory about her childhood. There is a very brief mention of her working at a video store to, quote, experience what I thought was a normal life. And I was like, oh, that's familiar. So I went and looked. And in Little Girl Lost, she mentions this as well. She says it was around age 12. And I remember we were both just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And she had to work there because Jade wanted her to earn her own spending money. And
because she didn't earn any of that other money.
Yeah. All the money you guys are living on, Drew did earn. So, okay.
Yeah, okay.
And then the article also mentions Jade taking her to, quote, the exclusive club Helena's to party with Jack and Angelica. And that was fun to see because that was the unnamed club in Little Girl Lost that we ID'd, like that I figured out was that place. So I was like, yep, okay, I was right.
Yep, check.
Yep. And then it finishes with saying, while recovering, she lived variously with boyfriends, which puke because she's like 14
Under
or 15
18.
years old. What the hell are we talking about?
Yep.
And other adults, including rehab singer David Crosby and his wife. And then it says, and former groupie Pamela DeBar. And I don't think there's a shred of like truth to that. I've like, because I remember Drew at one point was like, rumored to maybe be playing her in a movie about her life, and like it didn't sound like they knew each other at all, but like Pamela was like, she's the new age of groupies, was like when she was following Hole around, as we mentioned.
Yeah, so this is just kind of dropped in there as if that's
I don't know
true.
where that came from. Yeah, it's so weird.
That is so interesting. Okay, so then we are on the day of the shoot, cold and on the beach. So this is like, you see it in the pictures. And I think I was mentioning she's like wearing a jacket and the one with the seagulls.
Yeah.
In the article, it says, though her teeth chatter and her luminous skin starts to turn blue, she never once complains. In fact, she's exceedingly polite, ardently thanking everyone who helps her or pays her a compliment. And when she tosses some pieces of bagels at the birds, she seems genuinely shocked when they immediately swarm around her. Wow, she says with a beating smile. They're all coming. They don't do this in LA.
I love that paragraph. Like, of course, she's not complaining. She's professional. She's polite. She's sweet. And of course, Drew is the person that appreciates seagulls. Like, I'm always like, they're going to steal my food.
Why are they swarming? Yeah. She's like, please swarm. It's just so funny. So cute.
That's our girl, her perching birdies.
Yeah, totally.
So there's brief talk about her time where she was snubbed by Hollywood. She says, people wouldn't touch me. They just thought I was some loser drug addict. I thought I would never work again. Believe me, going from being the most famous child in the world to doing an after-school special is kind of a bummer. Which, like, I like that she talks about that because I don't feel like she really ever has touched on, the after-school special, of course, is 15 and getting straight. And she briefly mentions it in Little Girl Lost, but not as like, wow, look how far I've come.
Look at the like juxtaposition of like, that's dirty. And here's like this girl in whatever, in fake rehab, but real rehab, post-real rehab.
Fake rehab, post-rehab at the real
in the real rehab.
So it mentions how instead of going down the like classic bad path for child stars, Drew instead sobered up, rededicated herself, and reinvented herself, eventually landing Poison Ivy and Gun Crazy. And yeah, she did reinvent herself. Yes, she was only 16, 17, but she reinvented herself as a sex symbol because she knew that was the way to get away from the child star. Yeah, she was right.
So it says that a week before filming Gun Crazy, she cut her hair. We'll talk about this, but we think that might be an exaggeration that it was a week before.
Yeah, based on another quote we have later on. And also like, I just think that that's an exaggeration.
Right, exactly. So anyway, it says it says 16-year-old Drew and her roommate saw the movie 21 and were so charmed by Patsy Kensitt's look that they cut off all their hair. And it says, Tamara Davis, who was the director, she said, the producers freaked out, but I thought it was great. A stroke of genius. It was so messed up looking, this dorky looking haircut. It was perfect for the character.
Which makes sense because the girl she plays in Gun Crazy is like an outcast. She's not sexy and cool. Like she's quote unquote bad girl because she's like wrong side of the tracks and she's like promiscuous, but it's because she's been abused and like, yeah, she's not like Ivy, for sure.
They had to like, it's actually almost weird to like think that the girl who played Ivy, and I don't remember her name in Gun Crazy.
Anita.
So like that those are the same person and within that short amount of time. Like
months apart.
Right. It's amazing.
But can you imagine Gun Crazy with her like poison ivy hair? No, she did the right thing. So she spoke about that in Movie Line 1992, which we have an episode about. It's a really, really juicy article, the juiciest article we've ever done, if you guys really want some dirt. But she says in that, when I was getting ready for my second audition on Gun Crazy, which I believe that makes a little more sense to me, she says, in which the girl is going to find cool because she's so uncool. I thought, what if I'm just sexy with all this hair? And what if the producers think I can't do the role because I have long hair? So I took scissors and cut it all off.
It's also like her saying it that way, like she would dare to risk it, is also like, what was the real decision like?
Yeah.
It's kind of wild.
It's pretty fun though.
Yeah, it is very fun. So she debuted the short hair at the premiere of My Own Private Idaho on October 11th of 1991. And we believe that Gun Crazy was filmed sometime in November. So
so it makes a little more sense. I don't think like she'd be about to go in front of the cameras and be like, surprise.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So we get into Drew's usual self-deprecating talk about not thinking that she's a good actress and how she'll never talk about like quote unquote craft or like motivation in the way that somebody who's like very, what do they call that? Method acting.
Yeah.
So she says, I just have a good ability at adapting characters and becoming them. I appreciate technical actors, but I'm different. I want to have a personal, emotional, physical freedom, never hold back. It is funny how she's always kind of talked about like method, but then I feel like when she did like Riding in Cars with Boys, she almost kind of did method.
I would say that and Grey Gardens are the exception. Right. But other than that, I mean, even as recently as the last few years, I've heard her say on her show, like, oh, I don't think I'm a good actress. Like, I just know how to become other people, which is kind of funny. It's like, well,
but that's kind of the same thing. That is the task.
It's almost like how she doesn't want to put the label of sober on herself. Right. It's like it comes with a heavier connotation than just being like, oh, I just know how to play characters.
All right. I love this part. I love this little collection of tidbits.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is what it's all about. The tidbits galore. And the author just starts writing them down. And this is
why do we love it so much?
I don't know. I always have, it just occurred to me. I almost could trace it to the old Drew fan sites that Missy Monday ran. She had something called the Kooky Facts Jar.
Yes.
Remember this? And you would click and it'd be a picture of Drew with one little fact. And then you'd click and it'd change to a new one. And I almost wonder if that's like where this comes from for me.
So deeply ingrained that we're like, lists of little facts. Anyway, we'll talk about our website again. We've got a Drew Details section of the Drewsium where we've got just like lists of facts.
Yep. And it was totally inspired by the Kooky Facts. And yeah, we call it Drew Details. And it's just a huge list of these kinds of fun things. So let's talk about what is mentioned in this article. So she claims to be anemic, claustrophobic, and insomniac. And we like the sleep thing has always been an issue for her.
Yep.
She hates regret, but later on, she apparently says she regrets having pierced each ear with 4 holes. She thought her BMW was too prissy, and now she loves her prized possession, her Bronco, which, of course, we've talked about last episode as well.
Yep.
She owns a .357 Magnum gun, and that might feel a little weird to you guys, but in Details 1993, she says it was a gift from Jamie. So I think
it's weird still. Like, I'm like, what?
It is still weird. I think it's one of those Jamie like remnants. I think that cross necklace she wore all the time in 92 was from him. I think these were like things that were like, oh, Jamie gave this to me. And then like he's gone and eventually those things are gone.
Those things faded away as well.
Burn the gun with the flannels.
I feel like it's like a very like I had a very like I forgot.
Yeah,
I think
same.
I probably read it multiple times and been like, whoa, it just seems very weird for her.
Yep.
She talks about the mixing of styles of 1940s and 1970s with thrift store finds. And she says that she likes to wear this Dolce & Gabbana quote unquote happy hat and platform shoes. You pulled a picture of a hat that she wore. This is something that she wore like multiple times that maybe is the one, right? Is that a beret?
Yeah, it's the only one I could think. Well, I think it's actually a little bit more like a newsboy cap because I searched Dolce & Gabbana hats from that time, and I think she's just wearing it backwards. Yeah,
yeah,
which is kind of fun.
She says her idea of fun is playing pinball at 7-Eleven. And she said she once ran into the director, John Singleton, playing pinball.
Which is so weird because, as we mentioned in our last episode, this same year, 93, they like share a cover of a magazine called Dirt, where Drew's face is the top half and his face is the bottom half. It's like kind of funny.
Maybe they decided when they met each other.
They're like, hey, do you know Spike Jonze? Me too. Let's do this weird cover together.
Do you want to be the bottom half? I'll be the top half. I don't know. Let's do it. And then she says that she's superstitious and mentions over the course of a few days that she had wished on a planet, visited a psychic, monitored her mood ring, and consulted her dreamology book.
Oh, there's that book we were talking about.
And here's the like little kind of tidbit about like looking up a dream. She said that she had looked up a dream about pizza with sour cream and peas and found out that peas indicated good luck. And soon after, she booked the guest campaign.
She's psychic.
Psychic pea seer.
Have your peas on your pizza and then star in guest jeans.
Pea upstream. Okay, and then she said that her few wrinkles make her worry that she'll age as fast as her dad, which it's just like, what? You have such a baby face.
First of all, what wrinkles?
Yeah. And in 93?
And second of all, her dad, like, come on, girl. You're okay.
But then we love when she mentions her dad because it always results in some kind of like amazingly fun exploration of that relationship.
Yep.
So she says, it's strange because I see a lot of similarities between us, and I usually groove hard on the type of free spirit he is. Someone who travels around with a duffel bag, rides a bicycle, and doesn't wear shoes because he believes it's not right. But he's also tormented and fucked up, doesn't have his life together, and never wants to get it together. And I can't stand quitters. He had an amazing career ahead of him and shitted it all away on drugs. Maybe I did too, but I realized it and learned from my mistakes.
Oof.
Oof is right.
So many, it like sums it all up right there.
Mm-hmm. It does. She doesn't really elaborate on it, but she says that her and her mom don't really speak and that it's probably just a phase.
Which, as we all know, nope.
That phase, they're still in it.
I know. Like the only little interruption of that phase was when she was with Tom Green and briefly they reconciled. But other than that, like from as far as we know, like late 92 on, her and Jade were no longer speaking.
Yep.
So the article ends with Drew talking about how she loves to visit her family stars on the Walk of Fame, which it's neat to think like she was still 10 plus years away from getting her own. So it's just like, oh, my family's here. And she talks about how she always kisses her grandfather's profile in the cement outside the Chinese theater, which is so sweet and also so gross when you think about all the people walking.
I hope every time she wiped it off beforehand. But
or maybe it's
literally
like
on the ground.
Kiss her hand and then put that on the ground. That I could deal with.
All right.
But she says, it has nothing to do with being starstruck. It's kind of pathetic. It's the only link I have to them because I want to have a family. I'm sure I won't feel I have one until I have my own. Sob. I know. And then she continues, when I was younger, I felt, how can I live up to my family? I'm Hollywood royalty? Me? A kid who eats macaroni and cheese? It made me nervous. I never wanted to let them down, have people say, God, this acting dynasty, what the hell happened to their granddaughter? But I finally decided God is not going to come down and punish me if I don't do them justice. I can only try. And that's where we end. It's kind of interesting, too. I don't feel like she ever really talks about the pressure of being from this grand acting family. You know,
Not
like she's always embraced it, which is awesome. But yeah, there is like people looking at you like, oh, are you going to be the next big, amazing actress, you know?
Right. Okay, yeah, so it ends that way, which again is like it's hopeful. We like when she's like, thinking in this way. There's a letter to the editor that was printed in a later issue, and it said, "Thanks for the article on Drew Barrymore. She's a wonderful actress and person. She seems like the sweetest woman on earth, and I give her much credit for her 4 years of sobriety."
That's so sweet.
That's nice.
So sweet.
So sweet.
Another little piece for the kind comments corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked this little, I mean, we love an excuse to go through these. I think I like doing the articles because that it's like, I think I already said it, but like it gives us an excuse to like go into some of the little details.
Yeah, and there's always things that I forgot, even as many times as I've read some of these, especially the ones from the 90s. I always come away going like, oh, whoa, I forgot about that little thing.
I mean, I guess also I realized it's like one of the only times we get her voice.
Yeah.
Because it's that and it's like interviews on shows, which we haven't really jumped into much in our podcast. But that's why it's so fun. We get to like explore her as a person and not as the thing she's pretending to be.
Right. Especially the ones that like are in her normal life. Those are our favorites when they're like at her house or they're hanging out at a restaurant together or she's opening up her purse and showing them all the contents. Like, you know, we love Drew the actress, but we love Drew the person even more. This kid who eats macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, it's like, I love that. I love that. Like, she still is that kid eating macaroni and cheese.
She's still that kid.
She's probably, you know, like one of the reasons she is so playful and fun is I feel like she still is that little girl, but also she had to be an adult so early that she like taps into that kid and lives her childhood.
That's why her age never makes sense.
Right, because she's also 5. She never got to be 5 or 6 years old. Too much stress on her, too much career.
Too much earning the money for her family household.
You got to learn how to earn your own money. What? What have I been doing since the 80s, Mom?
All right. Thanks, you guys, for being here. We really appreciate you guys. Sometimes we're like, we're just this little podcast no one listens to, but then we'll get like a really nice review or a message from one of you that appreciates what we're doing, and that like
yes, somebody's out
like
there.
The fire has been lit back under my butt. Let's keep going.
Yes.
So anyway, you want to shout out and give us a little love, you could follow us on Instagram at How Do You Drew Pod. You could give us a rating on wherever you're listening to this. You could leave a review on Apple Podcasts. You could comment on Spotify, comment on YouTube. Just let us know you're listening and you like this, and we'll go, all right, let's keep going. Let's do some more.
Otherwise, we might stop, guys.
Yeah, you never know.
Also, make sure you visit our website at howdoyoudrew.com and you'll see the episode gallery for this episode. We've got lots of great content up there, guys. Also, while you're there, you should peruse the Drewseum. That's our museum. That's online. Everything's hosted at the same place. Go online, check that out. Make sure you sign up for our Patreon.
Patreon.com/howdoyoudrew.
Yes, I should have mentioned this sooner, but a thing that we've been doing on Patreon is that when we cover a magazine feature on the regular podcast, we go ahead and scan in the entire feature. So you get to see the entire thing, nice, full size, and you'll have that little PDF. So you can read the articles, you can see the photos bigger than, you know, how they are on our website. So that's a perk that you're going to get if you're on Patreon. The last, like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 that we covered are up there, and I'm going to be scanning these in momentarily, and they'll be up there as well as by the time you're listening to this.
And we've been raving about just how stunning they are, and that like seeing them scanned is going to be
if you can't go spend $70 on eBay, we got you. Spend $1. $1, guys, and you'll get these on our Patreon.
Yeah, so please visit us over there. Also, I know we've said many other places to reach us, but don't forget to send listener mail to howdoyoudrewpod@gmail.com. And I guess we will see you all next Drewsday, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, thanks.
This episode of the How Do You Drew podcast was researched and produced by Ashley and Ann from thedrewseum.com with help from our sponsor, Positive Medium.
Special thanks to Matt Costa for our lovely theme song, Roxy Prima for our adorable logo, and last but not least, Drew Barrymore and all the Drewbies who love her. We do this for you. Thank you.